This is the 25th of October, yeah. So, we need to approve the minutes of the last meeting, the
Yeah.
14th.
The 11th.
11, yeah, looks like 11 when you look at it.
Never mind the September thing.
Okay, October 11th meeting, minutes.
I'll make a motion, we accept the minutes from October 11th.
Any
All in favor?
objections, all
Aye.
ayes? Aye.
Aye.
Okay.
Done.
We still have the Forestry Commission coming up on the 7th of next month.
Yep. Their meeting. It's their meeting.
November.
I posted it anyway.
I don't think they'll throw us out if we don't let somebody go.
Well, I don't know if we have to,
It'll be on their agenda.
yeah.
You didn't need to,
But if we have a quorum,
oh, if you have a quorum, you have to post it, okay.
I don't-
Even though it's their meeting?
I don't know.
We don't risk it.
Okay.
This whole quorum thing is confusing.
Yes, indeed.
Certificate of compliance on, continued,
Continue.
2 Lakeview Drive, right up front and close here. There were some changes made.
So we did a site visit. All you folks, pretty much, a lot of you came. So the change, so the change in the proposal is the addition has been reduced by about 200 square feet, significantly. Just for comparison. That was what was proposed initially. So here's the addition, comes down and incorporates where the shed is, all of this area here. There was also proposed stone patio over this area right in here. So all of that is gone. The shed remains same, keeps in the same place. The propane tank stays in the same place. And the addition has gone down to 397 square feet. It was 600 square feet. We'd still be accessing the construction through the driveway and putting mats down. What's proposed is erosion control silt socks all the way around it. There's also proposed to eliminate around the periphery of the property invasive species. So you've got buckthorn and honeysuckle and rugosa rose and bittersweet around the perimeter. We wouldn't propose to go into the wetlands themselves. So it's just in the green and the yellow green here between the edge of the lawn. Native species or shrubs are proposed to be replaced in those locations. Gail has said that she doesn't like some of these, but we can substitute additional native species. The entire property, this entire area is within the 50-foot. This is a buffer zone by Wetlands Protection Act. This is a buffer zone only project. No wetland resource areas will be altered by this project, especially if we have a robust erosion control and we have control matting getting back in here. We feel like it's a fairly modest proposal. This only brings the house up to what square feet, David?
It's on the table.
It's going from, I think this is
From 1349 to 1627.
so still a pretty small house.
Distance to the buffer.
Buffer zone on this side to the wetlands is on this side is 19 feet 3 inches or 19.25 feet. So that's this.
You have those circled on the floor plan there.
And then
Dimensions to the well.
on this side, it'd be 22 and a half feet basically to this corner, to this point right here. The existing house, closest points are about 15 feet. So we're
Does this
farther
addition,
away.
does any parts of this addition get closer than 15 feet?
No,
No.
we're
Stay,
about 19 feet. And the existing house is a 2-bedroom house. Gail needs a 3-bedroom house with a first floor master suite. So we eliminated everything else except the first floor master suite. That's all we're adding on in the backyard.
And in all of this area, well, there's a little bit.
Existing lawn and
There's,
stone.
this is all a stone patio, this area right in here. That's all crushed stone right now, just laid on grade. So all of that's going away. This will take the place of that. There's a little bit of of the addition that'll be outside of that stone in this area right here. And we have a 35-foot side yard setback. That's a line right here. So that's keeping us out of just the building code or a zoning.
This is allowed by right as long as we stay behind that setback.
Say that once again?
This addition is allowed by right as a pre-existing non-conforming structure. We can add on to it as long as we comply with all of the other zoning
Well, that's not.
setbacks.
Right.
Not wetlands.
I'm explaining why it's stepped back in that way and why we can't use that space.
and it's gonna be a foundation, is it a foundation or a underneath?
We want to do a frost wall with a slab, because that way we can get the concrete up high enough in the back to avoid any excavation in the backyard. If we do a frost wall with a floor system, we'd have to be 12 inches lower in the grade. If we do piers, we'll have to be 18 inches lower in the grade.
Does that mean the frost wall goes down 4 feet, but the slab is grade level?
Yes.
Won't be grade level.
Well, it's gonna
It'll be at floor level, existing floor level, the slab. But the property does slope up a bit in the back and it's low already in the back. So by having a slab on a frost wall, we're able to bring the concrete 18 inches above the grade there. So we comply with all the code for. If we have to do piers, then you're gonna end up with wooden structure that's gonna be lower in the ground, and we'll have to excavate behind to ensure that we have 8-inch clearance before any wooden material.
Frost wall for new construction is the way to go. It's just.
Just trying to understand.
Yeah.
The materials to be removed. Will they be removed from the site?
No,
There's no materials,
There was,
mining.
there was fill there.
is the stones just gonna stay there, the,
On the,
Well, I hope we reuse the
Well,
stone.
you can use it under your slab. 'cause
Yeah,
you're-
all we're digging is just the frost walls. The existing grade can stay as gravel, and then we just fill it in with,
And the
stone.
concrete, usually for concrete on these, they're gonna sit out here and pump it in here. They have a pump system.
so today?
Yeah, they wouldn't be able to get a truck in anyway.
No, they can't get into here. So this would be light, just mostly all foot traffic to construct this.
my concern is the same as the last meeting, that typically we have not approved anything closer than 50 feet from the buffer. 19 feet from the buffer, to me, is a loss of buffer.
But you have approved 50 feet.
God, I haven't approved anything.
This board has.
Well, we're looking at this project right now.
So,
Health and safety, we've not
Yeah, this-
allowed new construction within 50 feet.
so you have,
Site
Can I
is
just finish?
yeah, go ahead.
specific, like Sally's saying.
Jamie, can I just finish? So according to our bylaw, we can protect up to 100 feet from the buffer. We have gone with 50, but from my perspective, the buffer serves a purpose. It's listed in our bylaw very clearly, and I'm not comfortable with 19 feet from the buffer, even with the improvements.
So
One vote, but-
that's fine if that's your opinion. I think this is a lot that was developed in 1969. So this building was built 1969, way before all of these bylaws.
Yep.
And I think it is a hardship if that's the case. Otherwise, you're looking that you'd have to expand this.
I wasn't here for the last meeting, but my sense is that it's relatively flat there anyway.
It's really flat. That's actually,
And when you, let me just finish, please. So that when we push the 50-foot setback in the buffer zone from the wetland, it's to stop erosion. So there shouldn't be much erosion here is my sense. Is that right?
it's a flat site. This is sloped
Might be-
this way.
Might be
There's a
a foot
slight
difference if you go back far enough.
Foot,
2 feet from the front of the property to the back. So the water is going to naturally, it's going to maintain its natural course through the lot.
So it slopes to the rear is what you're saying?
No,
Well,
it slopes
It slopes towards the
The
front?
rear is a little higher.
Okay.
it's sloping this way.
Just one more thing then. So by using the foundation as a retaining wall, essentially marked on that,
Yeah.
on the high side, you've minimized your disturbance and you can keep the rest of the site as it is.
We won't have to excavate
Exactly.
to allow for clearance below a wooden
No, I just behind the foundation.
piling.
And there's no reason for foundation drains. It's all saturated underneath 4 feet. So you don't have to discharge this anywhere. So we'd be appealing to the Conservation Commission. You understand you have a 50-foot bylaw. I don't think.
It's not a bylaw.
David,
We have 100 foot.
It's a
just
memorandum.
stop. You stop, please, okay? But it's.
Bylaw.
It's a bylaw.
Written, it's a bylaw. They can apply it, but they can also apply that this is a hardship case. This is constructed or developed in 1969. It's way before the bylaw. You're not altering any BVW by this approving this construction.
Does the rain off the new roof go into any sort of a rain garden or any sort of?
It's pretty minimal.
Apparatus to help.
It's 200 square feet. If that was something that you.
No, I'm just asking.
If it was a concern of the commissions, we could do a drip edge around this whole thing. Have it just have, the roof line drip into a crushed stone drip edge.
It's on one side now.
Let's do that.
gonna say, which we.
Yeah, this is all drip edge here,
Okay.
existing.
So how much of the existing house is also in the buffer zone?
There's all of it.
All of it.
All of it?
All of it. The whole
place
thing,
is
everything,
in the
you
buffer.
can't get out of the buffer zone on this property. It's 50 feet.
Existing is
That's
10
what I
feet
thought. I
away.
just wanted
50 feet
to,
across.
I wanted to verify. that.
Yeah.
You can't even step onto the road and be out of the buffer zone. 'Cause that's,
Right.
I don't know where it starts and where it stops, but make that corner and you're in the buffer zone.
We just actually flagged this corner down here on perimeter. So it does start right about here. So that's just pretty accurate, but it does this wraps around this property like this. So this is off of Mass GIS. It's not accurate. So there is wetlands that wraps around the site.
So how deep on this peripheral replacement of, or elimination of invasives and replacement with native plants, how deep is that going to go? I mean,
As I said, well, this is only about 5 or 6 to 10 feet around here. So you're really taking just the edge. And a lot of the invasives are right there.
They're right there.
They're right
I know,
they're right on the edge of the
I
lawn.
bet, yeah. I just didn't know how far in you were going to go because, one of the ways that we can approve this is, it says if the proposed work within the buffer zone will contribute to the protection of the interests identified in wetlands protection. And with bordering vegetated wetlands, it's really the plants that do the most. And I know there's a lot of invasives there, so I'm trying to balance that with the loss of.
You're asking them to go deeper and get more of it?
Well, I don't know. I just wanted to know how deep they were going to go because that would.
Well, that's a slippery slope. I mean, I don't.
Sure.
Well,
You're
let me
David
just
up
say
there.
that,
You can
yeah.
comment, but
I would, there's only a certain amount I can go on one side before I encounter my neighbor's
Yeah, this-
property, but I would probably want to go that far, which is at least 5 feet, 5, 6 feet in.
So,
and, yeah,
And around.
yeah.
and around.
And so when you get into that, though, you're cutting in the BVW itself.
Sure, of course, yeah.
You could
Then
do,
it's a whole different application.
Right.
right.
I understand.
So we're not,
What is the total number of proposed plantings?
I don't think we.
I was
counted.
I was replacing basically 1-to-1. I didn't have a number.
I guess it's
Cut a buckthorn down, you,
Put a
Cut a-
native species.
a winter
in. You take
variant.
But
yeah.
that was something in the NOI that I was kind of missing because there were 3 paragraphs and a chart on erosion control. And then there were 4 short sentences on the plant program.
Right.
And there's no mention of the species.
I have updated that. So here's species that can be worked. These are shrubs that would work well within this periphery.
But I'm sorry, what's your name? Gail?
I would-
Gail wants to update that, right?
Yes.
As long as
but
it's
I would
native
also-
species.
Right, but I don't think she prefers yours.
I would probably add other additional shrubs, including same plants I proposed for the 15 Lakeview project, which were everything from wild rhododendron to the Osier dogwood, the red.
Sure.
And that's in here.
That's, yeah.
One of
I
those.
didn't get to.
Get it, was there.
But, you know,
Was this in addition to the one-to-one, or is this what,
No, that's
this
what
would
the
be?
one-to-one would comprise.
Okay, all right, I wasn't clear on that.
I would actually love it if we had a count, you know. It's kind of hard to know whether or not it's happened, you know, without some kind of count.
Ballpark, I'd say 50. I think we're talking at 50
Oh, I think
plants.
you're over that.
Well, maybe more, but it
That's what I mean.
depends.
We'll go with 70,
We
but
need
I
some
think it's.
spacing too, right? I mean,
Yeah, and you're gonna wanna make it look good, you know, but,
Well, if it's a replacement option, you say 70 plants, you can only take out 70 invasive.
Well,
Whether there's 100 there or not.
Well, no, we want you to guarantee you're gonna put in 70, but if you take out 100, we assume you'd put in 100.
Yeah.
I think we do it as a
if they'll fit,
1-to-1.
right?
and
Because some
just-
of these are on top of each other.
Right.
buckthorn is just gonna come back.
The buckthorn, you have to get a machine in and dig out the roots.
Yeah,
basically.
we're not doing that though. So if. the
Actually, I was
buckthorn-
planning to do that.
But you can do it by hand. You can do it by hand.
Not by hand, by machine.
But buckthorn, you can suppress it. You got to keep on cutting it and keep on cutting it. I mean, you know that. But it's
Yeah,
like,
that's,
you know, and, or you can do an application, but you guys don't get into that. so.
That's not in this application. so-
Right, no applications. So I think, you know, Gail lives there. She's got a nice yard. She does gardening, I can tell, I
Yes.
think. And she can keep on top of just keep on cutting the
I think
buckthorn.
last time Ron asked me, well, you can tell your gardener. I said, I'm the gardener, you know?
no,
I mean, if
I mean, I was just kind of missing detail on that because for me, that was an attractive part of the package. You know, I know you're in difficulties, the whole place is in,
well, if it's attractive enough that you'll vote for this,
right?
we'll continue it to another meeting and I'll take account.
Okay, well, I didn't want to delay but you're not going to be building
Not till the spring.
till the spring. Okay, I didn't want to delay
Yeah.
things. But, and also too, it would depend on what other people on the board thought about that. I mean, it's something that I would want to know, but, and it would also weigh with me if they were putting in these plans, because
Well-
that's really, you know, the purpose of the bordering vegetated wetland. I mean, most of it has to do with, you know, it's, what did I read in the CMR? It said that the bordering vegetated wetlands are probably the Commonwealth's most important inland habitat for wildlife. So
Right.
I know this whole site is kind of degraded with invasive plants. And
Yes.
to me, some kind of improvement that was significant
Makes it palatable.
would basically kind of meet that condition of the work in the buffer zone.
I would like to just say that irrespective of anything, I had planned to go in there and pull that stuff out.
Sure.
So, because, you know, I'm as committed to, as the next person to that. So, you know, if you need a count, we'll get a count, but,
Are there any trees to be planted, or is this all shrubbery type?
Mostly all shrubbery. I mean,
The trees are kind of dead and dying back
yeah,
there.
I think it's going to be tough to plant. You could probably get in there and do red maple, do fine.
I've got red maple right in the front.
Yeah.
How about
You saw
Nissa?
that.
Yeah,
How about a Nissa?
Oh,
Sylvatica.
Oh, what?
Oh, yeah, Nissa sylvatica, black gum.
You should
Black
see them
gum.
now, they're beautiful.
Great.
Well, I've got 4
not-
river birches on my property.
They're not very
On my-
plentiful
on
though
my
in Stockbridge.
Nissa sylvatica?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
well, they should be though.
Right. I'd actually like to plant more.
So is there, I mean,
I mean, that
I'm
was
hearing Tom, but
my,
I don't know.
that was my thinking, something that would improve the environment, but also mitigate the extra room, which I know you have cut it down by a third, and you've doubled the distance from the wetland, but it depends on if anyone else here thinks that goes away to making it possible. Otherwise, I'm not going to put you to the work of doing that if people feel that they can't accept it.
So for us, it's, the plants are the upside. You know, I think that's bottom line on it. So,
I'm leaning towards it being a hardship.
yep,
Plants.
So
Okay.
what we could do, I think, if that's a concern of you and you're looking for a numerical quantity, why don't we ask for a continuance on this? And we'll come back with a planting plan with species, and getting
Yes.
what you want.
Right.
And,
We could do minimums, okay? If
right,
you say, well, maybe we can get 70 in there, but we think 50. Minimum of 50.
right.
What do you do? Actually go out there and
I will
count
go
the
out
plants
there
and
and count
flag them or
them.
something?
Yep. I've done that before. It's tedious. Because there's a lot there.
You'll make the homeowner do that? You'll make the homeowner do that?
Maybe I will. But you also have,
Thank you.
you also have to like locate it, so. That's something to do. And I will look at the BBW. And do we go into the BBW a little bit to do that? I mean, we could do that if it's not going to be impacting. That's,
Like I said, it got better the last time we were there, and it's getting better again now.
yeah, okay.
You can do that in winter. Isn't that a better time to do that?
What's that?
Taking vases out of a wetland area after the ground is frozen?
Let's continue.
Everything's dormant.
If you're doing it with machinery,
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah, I don't want to get into it. There's no
You
machinery.
can't get any machinery back there.
In the BBW.
No,
We're
no.
going to stay out of that.
What do you just cut it down?
This is handwork, pull it out.
Pull it?
Yep. I think cut it flush, keep it cut. So I guess we would ask for a continuance to your
do we
next.
want to do a vote on the continuance then?
I make a motion, we continue the hearing,
A second.
pending a landing plan. Second. All in favor? Aye.
Good job.
Runs a good show.
Right.
Worked his way into something.
No.
No matter how this goes, ultimately, we really do appreciate all the work that you
Yeah.
have done to try and fix it
Thank you.
in an
Thank you.
impossible situation.
Wish you had another 10,000 square feet, but you
Yeah.
don't.
I know.
Well, I mean, you could have another 10,000 square feet, but you're not going to get out of the 50 feet.
No.
It just depends on how that's configured.
I don't need
You know, I know-
10,000. I just need, another bed.
10,000
I wanted
right.
2 more rooms, but I need another bed.
And it's this dimension here. It's not, this
Yeah,
out
that's-
here. I know
that's-
when David was out there, he was like looking at that this wetland line's probably out here. But it's actually that's the pinch point. So anyways,
I mean, I know that, the buffer zone, protects the wetland, the BVW. But from what I saw and from what I heard, the BVW is so degraded with invasives that it's not really doing, so anything that improves that, I think would be a good trade-off, but that's just my opinion. And they do say that, if work in the buffer zone, which would be partly what you're doing there.
Right.
It forwards the purpose of the Wetlands Protection Act, and it allows us to,
And I'll probably get Hialeah involved, the native
Helia,
Helia.
helium.
Hialeah, was that?
Asia McCracken, yeah.
Yeah, Helia.
Have you ever?
Everyone have a chance to see?
No, not yet, because they have appointment
No,
hours.
I didn't know
And
that.
I've never
Down.
been able to get there.
I did a couple of,
You want me to keep
classes.
the flags up?
It was good.
That'd be great.
I left them up, so I'll keep them up.
Oh,
I'll get there, but
Hard to find.
I'd love to see it. I
I was driving for a year, so I couldn't get there, and then when I
So we'll
could.
keep it up until the next meeting.
So I'm gonna stay.
Okay.
Might discuss
Yeah.
tomorrow. We'll talk.
Do you want, yeah,
Everyone else,
But this should, the other one shouldn't take that long.
Joe, do you want to go see the site?
Show up when you're there. I can come back.
Yeah,
When are you on?
I'm flexible.
If we're below quorum, we can go anytime. If we're above quorum, then we get sticky.
You've already been there.
About 4 times.
I mean, they're looking for another site visit. Sally wants to go look at
The
it.
flags are there.
the flags are there, I'll leave.
We don't really, as long as we have permission to go on the property, we just take a walk
Yeah,
around.
I'll be gone Thursday, Friday, Saturday, so it won't disturb me in
Good
any
time.
way.
Okay.
So,
All right,
and I'll leave the flags out.
okay. So we have 3 people that haven't seen it yet. They,
All right,
I
Mark.
think Bill wants to go. Bill and Joe
you.
and I.
Yeah, we
So,
left it up.
that's fine.
Others could see it.
Thanks.
Pretty self-explanatory once you get.
See you soon.
I'm not sure you would even count.
We're going to do site visit.
Count for a quorum?
I don't think so. I don't know.
I'm still confused.
I don't know. I don't know.
We'll go.
Mark would know.
What's that?
Not you, Mark.
Oh, that one. Well, that,
There's an alternate count for a quorum. David, do you know? You're muted.
Can hear you.
You're muted.
very good.
Sorry, I'm not the open meeting law expert. That's Mark, and he's not here.
Yeah. Maybe we could find out. We'll ask him.
I can chase that answer down for you.
Okay, thank you.
Now what do we have?
The botanical garden, but I
Oh,
don't see
yes.
anybody.
Oh, yeah.
You're doing that. Okay.
I'm here for that one.
You're here.
Well, I'm the only thing on the agenda here.
Good night.
Okay. Well,
Anybody have any questions about this project? Does anybody want to see this project?
Which, this one?
Yes, the botanical garden.
Oh, yeah.
I've seen it.
I've seen it.
Ask away. Any questions?
Did we do a site?
Straightforward.
Yes, we did.
I haven't seen it.
Same day.
I wasn't at the site visit, I'm just
I'll run through it for you.
trying to figure out
Yeah, do a quick run through.
Yeah.
where on the property the
So
building is.
do you know where the exhibition hall is?
That's where
If
they
you're
have-
looking at the property, it's the building off to the left.
Where they have their plant sale.
Or
They
near
have the plant
uh,
sales and.
Basically right there in that
183 is over here.
Wetlands.
102 is here.
Gotcha.
ways.
Actually, here's 102, 183.
Their compost pile pretty much took care
This
of most.
structure here is the exhibition hall, is right here, and we're looking to put barn structure.
Is at least
And-
one big tree to be removed.
So I can update Sally, I can give you new plans if you guys are going to hopefully vote on it. So just overall, this is a 30 by 50 barn that's going to use for educational purposes. And these are a little pergola. This is all gravel right now. This is a gravel parking lot. These are raised beds for classroom purposes. These are bathrooms in this structure right here. And then this is a sugar house that they're relocating from someplace else to use as a tool shed for the gardening purposes. There is 2, I can't remember what they are. Oh, they're box elders. That's what they were. Or
The big one?
ash leaf maples, those ones that were leaning.
Yeah, yeah.
They're box elders. And we would propose to remove those, but we are also, like the other project, proposing to remove invasives along the edge of the of this area right here and replace those. And those are, I have replacement plantings proposed here, which are all shrubs. These are two trees. There was, I think in this location, 2 white pines. I'm recommending that they leave the white pines. Just take the box elder that's leaning. Those box elders got to be at the maximum of their life anyways, because they were like 14, 16
You
inches.
can cut them down and 10 years from now, they'll be right back.
Yes, yeah, yeah, if you just leave the roots there, they'll do fine. So that's pretty much the project. This is a new gravel drive, which would be just for the purposes of use for Berkshire Botanical, plus it's a fire lane. Eventually, there's a access driveway that comes in here, and this is eventually in master planning proposed to be done away with. So they wouldn't have this access anymore. So this would be this comes through the main parking lot, and then you'd access the site from there.
So it's kind of a service road, really.
It's a service road only. That's right,
Are
yeah.
there any distances that anyone here needs to be aware of?
We got 50 feet and 56 feet.
Good.
It's nice to have it to work with.
Does anyone want to go and look at these? And we'll continue it, otherwise,
I saw it. I thought it was fine.
Yeah, I didn't have any problem with it, so
I can visualize where it is. It
I know the,
makes sense.
I make I'll let you do
oh,
this.
you're doing really good
You
here.
Really? You want me to?
Go
take
for
it? Okay. I make a motion that we close the hearing.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
Yeah,
They're-
500.
I know they have the timber framing already going on that, so they're anxious to get this. It's one of the reasons I asked for the meeting, the site visit prior to the meeting, because they're anxious. Now we just have to
Okay.
get Sally. Do you want any help doing the order of condition?
I don't think so.
Okay. I've done it before for other commissions.
All right,
Okay,
got it.
Yep.
thanks.
All right, have a good evening.
So do we vote on it now or no?
How much?
Do we vote if it's approved or not?
It's approved.
Oh, it's close, I don't even.
Certificate of compliance for 12 Mackinac Shores.
Berkshire Engineering. But they're not here.
Continue. Make a motion to continue.
Second.
Aye.
All right,
We should do a site visit.
12 Mackinac Shores.
This was a retaining wall project.
Mackinac.
Yeah.
Is that the one
Was,
that we,
what's her face? Candell
did we get,
was got torn down and put back up.
did we get an email today about this where there?
No, that was 11.
There was an email that
That
was
was
late.
Tom, that was 11 Mackinac.
Oh, 11.
11.
Okay, so,
That's the burn hack. Yeah, I got a phone call from them asking if it was going to be on the agenda for tonight, which it's not because it hasn't been advertised. At the time, I hadn't even seen it, but then I saw it in the email.
like the botanical garden, they asked if we could do a site visit before the hearing.
Well, we don't even have the plans. We just, I mean, we have the digital plans, but we don't have the.
Right, and also too, do they need a DEP number first? or-
Yes.
They do, they need that.
Well, they need it before we can close anything.
Right, okay, but we could do a site visit without
Could
it.
do a site visit.
Okay. So anyway, so I guess in the email, they said they wanted to do it on the,
Yeah, but I don't.
There's no
November.
Aaron is here. Aaron is here, right?
Okay.
You're Aaron, right?
Yes, I am.
Okay.
Yeah, we just submitted it today. We're hoping to get on the next agenda in November. And
Yeah.
we were just hoping we could schedule a site visit for Thursday, November 3rd.
Okay, it's been I put it in for the advertisement, so it's all set to go for the 8th for our
Okay.
meeting. At least to hear it on the 8th, is what I'm saying.
But he was asking about the site visit.
Right, I know, but he was asking if it was ready to go, and yes, it is, because I put in the ad. On the 3rd, which is what, Thursday? What day is the 3rd?
Thursday?
Do we want to try and do a site visit on
I'll
the
give it a
3rd?
shot.
And what time?
3 PM if you could.
We do 3:30?
Yep, that'll work.
I don't know if that works for other people.
Thursday, the 3rd.
Oh,
Yes,
November. And this is 11 Mackinac.
12. Oh, no,
11,
sorry.
11 or 12?
Yeah.
Doesn't help.
11.
Two right next to each other, does it?
and 12 Mackinac Shores is right next to it, so we might as well look at it then.
Right around the corner.
Yeah,
And the 11 Mackinac, that's a drainage project, isn't it?
Yes.
Yes.
drainage improvement, yes.
Drainage improvement,
In the driveway or something?
something like that.
And is it 3:30, Sally?
Yeah. I didn't, I haven't looked at the plans. They were digital. I haven't looked at them.
You did send us plans, though, correct?
We did.
We're gonna have hard copies and the fee tomorrow in the mail for you guys, or somebody will drop them off. But we have the packages together. We just did not get them out today.
That's okay.
We have a digital copy.
Yeah, digital copy's good. Everybody got it, right?
Yep.
But we do need the hard copy.
Well, yep, we have that ready to go.
Have a hard copy on the site too, please.
Okay, we can do that.
Okay,
Do you want
so
to
we'll
set up-
see you Thursday, the 3rd at 3:30
All right, thank you guys so much.
at 11
Thank
Mackinac.
you.
And I'll check with Mike about the 12 Mackinac Shores. Except 11 Mackinac, it's 11 Mackinac Road, it's not Mackinac Shores Road, so it's correct. It's not next door.
Oh, okay.
But they're,
This one's road, right?
a quarter of a mile from each other.
Right. What?
So 11 Mackinac Road and 12 Mackinac.
It's like
Really need a
two houses
variety
past
of
the,
names.
Known as Prospect Hill.
Like, yeah, you're right. Yeah, yeah.
it says Burnack right on the end of the driveway.
Says what?
I've got
Says
that
the
actually
name
burned me that my road, that my address doesn't exist.
I didn't exist for a really long time at 10 Rattlesnake.
You
It
got
didn't exist.
No,
According
nobody
to,
could find, I mean, the house was there, but they still couldn't find it.
shacks.
with UPS, I had to, some of the stuff, like if you're ordering online, you couldn't speak to anybody. I had to send it to my mother-in-law's because they said, no, that address doesn't exist.
Driven by it.
Because they use,
Drive by it all the time.
UPS uses the USPS, the post office. And since we're all, most of us, I assume all of us, are post office boxes, they don't have it accurate.
Can't ship to a post office.
They won't even put it in your mailbox if
There's
you
a
have a post
special
office
zip code.
box now.
Marion Fathers.
I think he was.
And-
Or they'd stamp it with this nasty little.
They don't have.
Yeah, or try and get them to do it too.
I got it, I get the electric company to do it.
We, there's no such zip code.
Okay,
4 or 5 different.
moving on, performance standards. There was a meeting to which I failed to attend.
It was a really good meeting. I thought.
I thought it was very,
Learned a lot
you did.
outside of the
Thank you. It
performance
was a
standards.
very good meeting, Dave. Very helpful.
It was great.
You're
Oh, and-
welcome.
And while we're on the subject of the performance standards and how awesome our Fleetwood guys are, David has offered to do a pro bono, what every conservation commissioner ought to know, quickie.
I call it the crash course. And it's the subtitle is a 30-minute blitz of the wetland regulations. And it's intended to be kind of a digital cheat sheet for knowing where to go in the regulations for the most important stuff. It's geared towards new Conservation Commission members and members who have an aversion to opening up the regulations routinely.
So I said I would be very interested in this.
Sure.
And I think,
David, is that 10.54 to 10.58?
That's one part of the regulations. It's 10.01 to 10.60, really.
Right.
you're channeling Mark. Mark knows all of them down.
So Tom, what you just cited were the specific resource areas.
Well, when we met at Lily Pond that time, you said if we studied those 5
Wow,
things,
you've got a really good memory.
thank you. But they said that, you said if you study those 5 laws, you'll be ahead of 80% of the conservation commissioners in the state.
That's right.
So I did
That's
take
right.
that to heart.
You were paying attention.
Yes.
Okay, so a time or date, or
That's,
can we do it the same night as a meeting, but at 6:30 or so?
or, yeah, we'll get to that.
You guys just let me know what works for you and I'll make it happen.
Okay.
Any
That'd be
opinions
fine.
on that?
I'd
Yeah, it
rather,
works.
I'd rather do it with a meeting, not have a separate one, perhaps.
Yeah, I do that.
The next meeting?
We don't, at least to the best of my knowledge, our next meeting, we just are continuing 2 Lake Drive and continuing the 12 Mackinac Shores, which is just a request for a certificate of compliance.
And this gentleman that wants to do 11, that just came up to us, right?
Right.
Yes.
So we don't have a lot on the agenda for that night.
So we could possibly be done by now,
Yes.
Yeah.
which is 7:45, half hour, 40 minutes.
Could we do 8 o'clock?
Well, why don't we start at
Well, we're done.
4?
Yeah, I'd rather start it before and get out earlier.
That's,
Yeah, rather
Then you
than.
got-
that's really difficult for me.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, I'm willing
Okay.
to do it after. if-
Okay.
No, we still should be out of here by 8:30.
Just do it then.
Yeah.
We've been out of here a lot later on occasion.
Okay,
So what date are we looking, what date is that?
November
The 8th?
8th, I think.
David's gonna be, with us anyway, so.
Right.
So
Does that work for you, Dave?
Yeah, that's fine. So it would be after the regular business of the commission.
I just want to say that's election day.
Well, we don't have.
Ooh, we don't meet.
We do meet.
We do
do?
meet?
Yeah, we've
can.
always met.
but do we want to, I don't know that I want to stay late on election night. I may want to
Why?
watch the results.
Do you want to do it at the following meeting?
Yeah, how about at the next one? If we're
Because
meeting then. that's
As we get
things-
into November, I'm sure that the.
But 22 is
construction and
Thanksgiving
applications
weekend.
are
We're
slow
going
down.
to slow down, yeah. It's-
So,
Do people go away?
So that would be the 22nd, right?
Yeah, but that's Thanksgiving.
Yeah, 2 days before Thanksgiving.
Do we meet then?
Do people go away?
We do meet. The only one that we don't meet is the second one in,
Christmas?
In December? Okay, so the 22nd is, I would find better than,
all right, I'm
22nd? David?
Yep, that works.
second,
Okay.
okay. Thank you.
6:30.
No, not 6:30. We're doing it
Oh,
after.
8,
the-
8, sorry.
We're doing the regular time, but stay a little bit longer.
Yeah,
Okay,
David will have to talk fast to get this.
We give him extra caffeine in his coffee.
Well, I call it the crash course and I can actually keep the presentation to 30 minutes, but it usually prompts a whole bunch of questions and discussion afterwards. So
Sure, I'm sure of that.
Well, with the way it looks, we should have closed the 2 Lakeview Drive by then. We should have closed the request for the certificate of compliance. So we should only have, yes, we might get something else, but it looks like the Burnhack filing is possibly the only one that we'll have. So we might be done by 7:30.
sounds like good timing.
Yeah.
All right, November 22nd. Okay. Agricultural Forestry Commission, I spoke of that earlier.
And I did advertise it just in case we have a quorum of people who want to go.
That's the 7th at 6:30 in here somewhere.
In this room. Or it's a hybrid meeting, so you can zoom in.
It is hybrid? Okay, I didn't know. But the link will be in the,
Yep, they'll have an.
on the forestry.
On the forestry agenda, agriculture forestry,
So it's somebody else's meeting that invited us to it, is that what that is?
Yeah.
agriculture forestry, because we expressed an interest in talking to the commission.
Okay, now Gould Meadows, I requested this. Jess Toro, I think we all know, I don't know the name of the company. Do you know the name?
Native Habitat Restoration.
There it is. Okay. We've applied for various monies over the last few years for work at Gould Meadows, matching funds. For clearing of invasives, and it's all been mechanical to this point. We're into the third clearing in a couple places on mechanical, and we're not gaining any ground. She's proposing, and this is just a proposal, that she asked if it would be possible to use chemicals. Now, I had no encouragement at all on this. I just said I would mention it to the Concom because we have jurisdiction over Gould Meadows. My only other thought is if she doesn't use chemicals that have to be mechanical, it's bittersweet vine. You cut it down and 100 little shoots come up.
Can't you just pop it out?
Well, that'd be the mechanical meat.
Right.
So can we see the area? Can we do a site visit? and
That's,
see?
yes.
Yeah,
Why can't you just use the popper?
What do you mean popper, Sally? What is that?
It's a popper. It's like a little, it's a device that you stick in the ground and it pops the thing out.
Almost like a post hole digger?
That's what I was thinking.
A little bit, yeah.
Some of these vines are bigger around than your leg.
So I think,
Really?
I think you need to grab onto it with like a little excavator with a thumb and just
Yank.
rip it out that way.
That's the only alternative.
So
or I know they've used a forestry mower.
That's what she's mowed it down 3 times with.
but that's not gonna get at the roots.
And Gold Meadows is right north of the bowl, right? So it just rolls everything right into the bowl from there?
Yeah. I'll try to set up a site visit with her there and maps.
And who is her? Who's this lady that's helping us?
Toro, Miss Marie Toro. She's been around forever and ever and ever.
There's a lot of invasive.
She's done a lot of the invasive removal. She's done Campusa Bog. She's done Campusa Brook.
So she knows her stuff.
She does know her stuff. However, I personally think, given how much we've opposed the use of chemicals, that if we start using chemicals now on a property that we manage,
Yeah, then.
That sort of was mentioned in this last meeting.
I'm sure it was.
Although out of curiosity, what chemical is she asking to use?
As long as we use less.
She uses mostly glyphosate.
Glyphosate.
Yeah, that's mostly what
which
it
is the worst.
which is awful.
Oh, she did quote some other substance, but we'll talk about that.
Yeah.
So it's a site visit that we can all go on?
Oh, yes, it's town property.
Yeah, no, I mean, go out and walk it with her.
You can bring your dog.
And we manage
Well.
it, so
Watch out for the bears.
management.
Watch out for what?
Bears.
Ron, can you maneuver a small excavator in there? So that,
Oh, yes.
because that's,
Well, they've gone through with the skid steer with the grinding thing on it already, so.
Yeah, right, they've ground it down a few times now. It's coming back.
Like a
so-
yeah, it is,
type,
it's not gonna work.
yeah.
But
All it
is
does is chew off the top and the roots are still there.
Okay, I don't really know, like, I haven't dealt with a lot of Oriental bittersweet, but is it one of those plants like bindweed that if you just chop up a bit of root, that little bit can take root?
No, but the roots do send up sprouts.
Yeah, sure.
I don't believe they reroute, I just think
Grab your thing.
it's an aggressive round.
I've seen it where an excavator has ripped it up
Yeah, I'm sure.
and, consolidated, trucked it
You
out.
may not get everything on the first try, but,
It's gone.
Are most of invasives here because somebody thought it was a good plan to plant it?
No, they thought it was a good plan to put it in their yard and then
Right.
They had pretty seeds or pretty flowers and.
All of these, or not all of these things, but a goodly number of these things were brought by the landscapers who were here for the
Great estates.
the great estates,
Oh, way back when.
way back when. And
We know these grow quickly.
yeah, if you look around, the Mount or any of those places, you'll see all kinds of invasive species, which their gardeners brought and planted because they grew fast. And the
They sure do.
people who lived there thought it was swell because they all of a sudden had this beautiful plant that
Yeah.
had fall colors and you could make it into wreaths and put it on your door and,
To trim it to shapes.
yeah.
Were you thinking
They're
that
basically, no matter what you did to them, you couldn't kill them, so they live.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And now we're dealing with that exact problem.
Predators like.
And a lot of stuff came over actually, like with the white man originally as ballast in ships. They used to use soil as ballast.
Really? More
When
than
they
just
got
the
here,
cobblestone, huh?
yeah, sure. And in fact, the Indians used to call like the weeds that grew up, they used to call it the white man's footprint.
plantains?
Yeah, plantains and lamb's quarters and all that stuff.
Dandelions.
Yeah. But yeah, they used to just shovel the ballast out when they got here and it was loaded with seeds.
The Norway spruce invasion?
Cottonwood was brought here, the poplar.
Yeah.
Norway maple.
So do we have a time for the site?
I'll have to set up with her. Let's get back to this. We'll do it before the freeze.
You can do that through email too, without violating the open meeting law.
Okay.
Try to do it the same day that we're the third,
No,
3 stops.
I doubt it.
Yeah, because that's informational. You can,
Yes.
as long as you do not voice an opinion, you can do a,
This is just a show and
Just
tell.
information.
We'll set that up. Namkeg, what's this about?
okay, so we
Oh,
did
I
find,
know.
we got the final plans from NOMCAG about the work that they've been doing. And it does look as though, although we, sort of depends on how they categorize the work. Because part of what the work that they did was maintenance and part of the work that they did was new work. And so if you do all of the work together, it does go above the 10,000 square foot threshold, and which would trigger the stormwater bylaw. So I have told them that, and we will see where it goes from here.
And the work is already happening?
The work is done.
Work is done.
It looks, yeah, it's very done.
I went up there the day they started. Because I had a couple of complaints from neighbors. And they had all kinds of pipe piled up and such. But because I have a history with them, I said that I was going to turn it over to Ron or Sally, which I did. And I also said that if it ever came before the board here, I would recuse myself.
Okay.
So Sally got in touch with them and they said that they would send her this information ASAP. That was on September 19th, I think.
Well, I think I missed the first email that they sent me, so they were more prompt than this would.
But it's a little concerning because they also did that work where they park cars at the bottom of the hill.
Which we approved.
They did, but it was done, and then we
Before we-
approved it afterwards. They
Yeah.
did it without telling us. So I think
Right.
the message really needs to get to them that we're here and they need to come to us before they do
I
things.
think I made that quite
Okay,
clear.
good.
I did go up there with my grandson and he had a good time playing with the whatevers. And everybody was there. I mean, the
Brian.
engineers were there and Mark was there and everybody was there. And I did make it very clear that this doesn't really cut it, that they've got to come to us first.
Yeah, okay.
Well, I did make the
Even if
point to
it's-
Michael that town departments have to come to us first.
Yes,
And they have to give us facts and figures first. They can't say, oh, well, we're sure we're good.
Yeah.
And we'll go ahead and do it, which is what they did. But, you know, the highway department has to come to us, right? So they all have to come. But for some reason, they think they can just do the work on their own hook. And I do think that they need to get a different message. But then again, I am biased, so that's all
Well,
I'm
but
going to say.
it's happened twice, so
It's
I think
happened
that's
twice, yeah.
significant. Yeah.
Another one we have problems with is the Playhouse. I talked to them, it's been over a year, about their drainage issues over there. Nothing. I went back a second time, nothing.
Is it a violation?
They've got a water garden, but they blacktop the road so no water goes to the water garden. It all runs down into the corner property, right near Nancy O'Brien's house.
But it didn't even work before the,
no, it
No.
didn't. It never worked. It
was never
really worked.
reasonable solution.
And then there's the Farley property behind it. The water, well, it's a wetland up in there that they put a parking lot in. And there was drainage around the perimeter of the parking lot, but that's so filled or it just doesn't flow anymore. When you get a rainstorm, it goes into the Farley property. There's a drainage pipe that goes underneath the drive going up to the barn. The ends are sticking up in the air. You'd have to have 2 feet of water before water went under the
Purged.
road. Yeah. And when we walked around with, I thought was an appropriate person at one time. Evidently wasn't.
This is all at the Playhouse.
So we'll have to talk to them.
Yeah.
And you know, pardon me, first I thought, well, maybe they didn't have time because contractors are hard to come by.
Right.
But some of it was just basically take a shovel and dig a little bit and nothing. So I'll try again. Another person that's kind of, another facility that's blown us off.
Yeah.
There's a lot of that.
It's not generally a good idea. There was something else that I thought we ought to address. I forget now what it was.
So we'll just,
Anything else?
Oh, yes, there was something else. Sorry. Kate Fletcher got in touch with me about their blacktopping the driveway for White Pines. And she has some concerns about whether there will be any impact on the wetland, which is, she thinks, probably 100 feet away. So we might want to do a drive-by.
They done any drainage issue? Well, we'll find out when we go.
Yeah, we might want to do a drive-by on White Pines.
Where's White Pines?
It's the one that if you go up to the east side of the lake, you know, they've got their little, which is another thing we have to talk to them about. It's a housing, housing complex on the right. Condos.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah. And the other thing is, I keep looking at their fencing that's appeared on the lake. And I can't tell whether they have wildlife passage or whether it's prohibiting wildlife passage, but I think it may be.
There's even some down at the beach that I talked about.
Yeah.
You, but I haven't been back.
Yeah.
Sally, I got one little thing too. You want to go first?
just what, I just
Put them
want,
out there, let's hear them.
yeah, I just want to, go
Go
ahead.
ahead.
No, go ahead.
Your turn.
Okay. I just want to set up a time with you to get Campusa bog files.
It's downstairs. If you want to go down after this, you can.
But, okay, but I need to scan them and copy them and not more than just look. So if we can set up a time, I'm not going to do that now.
I can give you the file. It was my mother's.
Okay,
That's
all right, we can do that after.
no, that's not.
Okay, we'll go down after then, thank you.
But there's like a half a drawer,
Right, so I'm going to need some time to,
Campusa stuff down there.
yeah.
So last week I had a call from a contractor who wants to put in that forced main that's at the the house that's at the corner of Interlake and Crossroad.
McKiernan.
Mackinac, McKernan, right? And so they're gonna bore underneath the road, which it's going on now. So I went up and took a look at it. He had silt fences around all the stations where they're gonna come out of the ground for a little bit. They have a manhole going in there. And if you look, you'll see half circles of fence that were put in. They seem to be put in well. He cut through the roots, with a little excavator and was able to really pack it in. And I put a call into you, Sally. I don't know, I left a message on one of your numbers saying, and Ron, I did to you too. But now everybody knows, okay?
We were away. We've been away.
I
So-
kind of looked at it on the way back.
Yeah, I've looked at it.
I was there when I called if you were gonna come over.
Yeah,
He seemed like he really knew his business.
yeah, we did.
Oh, yeah, that was
That was impressive.
Jody is his name, or Junior
Wilkinson,
No,
they've been doing it forever.
it's not Wilkinson, though.
No, the guy that's doing the boring is called Subterranean, something or other.
What's his name?
Yeah, but I was curious to see how it worked, so I watched a little bit of it the next day. And they set up on the ground, right adjacent to where they are gonna put a manhole. And it was going down 4 feet, and it just sends a drill in 4 feet. And then it changes and goes along at a 4-foot depth to the next manhole, which is about 500 feet away.
When you say manhole, you're talking coming up through blacktop?
No,
No, they're on the-
they're off the road.
On the side of the road.
It's on the side of the road. And they picked that side because that's all fill there, and then it drops into, which probably some of that is wetland for sure. And they can do 500 feet or so a day, a bit more than that. So, and it doesn't disturb a thing. If they put them, the manholes are gonna be 4 feet deep, 4-foot diameter. If you put the manhole in ahead of time, the drill will go right through, for the pipe, which is only 2-inch pipe. And then they have a big coil of it down at the end. And with the drill end, they put a little Chinese thing, that goes in and grabs the inside of the pipe. It's a big coil, and they just pull it back. And then it's coming out of the ground in a few places.
Is this the lady that needs hooked up to sewer?
She's the
because-
one that didn't have any
Because of septic,
options.
yeah.
Yeah, actually, David knows about that one. He reviewed the site. They're doing the boring for the 2-inch force main for that job you looked at on the end. On Interlake and Crossroad for the woman who didn't have any options for a septic. There was, the whole site was,
McKiernan.
she was gonna go down and pick up the town sewer down by Beechwood.
Right, right.
That's underway now.
Okay.
Yeah, it's interesting.
It's 1,800 feet of boring
Wow.
It's amazing how they can control it though.
with stations every 500 feet roughly.
So when you say boring, you're talking about horizontal directional drilling?
Yeah,
Yeah,
said they could do, I don't know, 500, maybe 800 feet a day.
Yeah, if the soils are suitable for it, if you've
Yeah.
got rocks and all sorts of other.
They've had rock in a couple spots.
Yeah, it gets tricky.
Okay, any other business? Is there another meeting on the performance standards?
we haven't said it.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah, no, we did.
November
November 14th at 6 PM.
Yes.
I will try to make that one. Somebody call me on 13.
So if we have it, if you think we're going to have a quorum, we should post.
I will post it,
November 14th at what time?
6 PM.
6 PM.
I will post it this time. I don't know why I didn't think about posting it this
Someone want to make a motion, please?
To adjourn?
Yes.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Hey, Sally, let me talk to Mark about open meeting law before you post it. And I will get back to you on both of those issues because I'm not sure it's required for deliberating on proposed regulations and things like that. I just don't know offhand.
We might as well just do it, and then we don't ever have to worry about it. But yes, it would be good to know.
You ask, yes, and then
It's
we'll,
up to you. Yeah, I'll
Good
ask.
to know.
all in favor?
Aye.
Thank you all.